Well, good morning and welcome to Living Beyond Limits. You all know I'm Reverend Jennifer Spear. I welcome you this morning. I welcome all of those who are joining us online too. We are a part of Centers for Spiritual Living, and welcome to our holiday service today. So let's begin the service by reading our mission statement that's on the front of your bulletin. We are a sanctuary where people can discover and reveal the presence of God within their own being and experience their oneness with all life. Through the realization of this inner presence of love and peace, we give way to the evolutionary impulse of the divine and become a beneficial presence in the world. So that's what we're up to here at Living Beyond Limits, as we are really giving ourselves the opportunity to remember, yes, indeed, we are divine by our own nature, that we are actually incarnations of that infinite presence, which is a presence of love and a presence of peace. It is the principle of power and of wholeness and of goodness. That what is true of spirit, because we are incarnations of that one, is also true of us. So then when we find ourselves out in the world and the world is trying, is the world ever trying to you? The world is trying. It puts us in a place of power and a place of choice, because we aren't as reliant on the world being peaceful or loving or kind or generous. Yes, as human beings, we would prefer that, but when it's not, we aren't so reliant on it because we can find that within ourselves. And as we discover that peace that is not about what's going on, that just is always present, we can bring peace forward. When we find that love that is unconditional, that has nothing to do with situations or circumstances, then we can bring that love into those situations and circumstances. As we do that, we act as a healing presence in this world, as a beneficial presence. And so I thank every one of you for answering the call of your heart and your spirit to be walking this path, to be bringing the light of the divine into this world in a way that is truly a blessing to everyone. Thank you for that. Well, happy winter solstice, everyone. Merry Christmas, happy Hanukkah, and happy Kwanzaa. It's all this week. It's amazing. You know, I think it's really amazing to me that we honor and celebrate the light so much at this time of year when it's actually the darkest time of the year. And so, yesterday was winter solstice. And Christmas is Wednesday, and Hanukkah begins Wednesday night, and Kwanzaa is on Thursday. Amazing. So welcome to our holiday service and our celebration of the light within all of those varying traditions. As metaphysicians, we would like to be able to find meaning in those celebrations, in those holiday things, and be able to apply those things to our lives so that they are meaningful to us each individually. And so the title of my talk today is The Season of Light, and that's exactly what I'm talking about, is the symbolism of those different holidays and how we can look at the symbolism of that so that we can apply that to our lives. And so this time of year, that light, like Barbara was talking about, is kindled, I think, and fanned, and that light grows bigger than any time of year. And we even see light, the symbol of light, in secular traditions, of putting Christmas lights on roof lines and in yards, and people decorating Christmas trees, whether they're Christmas or not, Christians or not, and putting lights on the trees. We see that through glittery paper and glittery ribbon and even sparkly clothes that people wear this time of year. Did you notice that people don't wear sparkly clothes in the summertime? It's like only in the winter, only when it's dark this time of year, we wear that sparkly stuff to reflect the light, to increase our experience of the light this time of year. And so the symbolism of that tells me that we have the ability to increase that light. We have the ability to magnify that light through our actions, through what it is that we do, and to bring that light into the world through our magnification of that light. That we can actually create light in the world through conscious effort, through consciously paying attention to what it is that we are doing and how it is that we are behaving and what it is that we are saying in the world. And solstice is celebrated by indigenous people across the world, by people who practice earth-based religions. And the solstice is a recognition of the triumph of the light over the darkness. In the pagans actually call it the day of the birth of the unconquerable sun. It's a reminder to us, really, that that light is unconquerable. The light is always unconquerable, even when we can't see it. So as the days now, starting today, start to begin to get longer, we are also reminded then that darkness is always temporary. That waning, that it's the light, the darkness is temporary, and that the light is always present. It invites us to hold on to hope and to faith when things seem dark, and to look for the light when things seem darkest. It's inviting us to do that, the celebration of the solstice. And Hanukkah is going to be celebrated by Jewish people across the globe, and it is about a celebration of the miracle of the light. It is a reminder, you remember the story, that the oil that was put in the lamp in the newly dedicated temple was supposed to last for 1 day, and it lasted for 8 days. It is a reminder to us that we are never limited by appearances, that we are never limited by seeming physical limitations of this world, but that instead, when we partner with the divine, when we partner in faith with the divine, that miracles can occur. But it takes us partnering. It takes us standing in faith. And Kwanzaa begins, and it is a 7-day festival celebrating African American history and culture and life. And it is a celebration and a recognition of the enduring light of the human spirit. It is a celebration and a reminder about self-determinism. It is a reminder and an invitation to always bring our best forward. It is a reminder to stand tall, to stand in our authentic power, to let our light shine, even when others aren't supporting that. And of course, Christmas is here. Christmas, where people of the Christian faith are celebrating the birth of Jesus, the Christed One. He was called Christos, which means the illumined one. Jesus was called the light of the world and the bringer of the light. As metaphysicians, we hold that Jesus was the great example for all of us, rather than the great exception. He was the great example and the way shower for us. He was illumined out of his full realization of his inseparable oneness with God, that there was no otherness, that God was in him, expressing as him. He had the full realization of that all of the time in every moment. He was illumined. And so he was also illumined by the truth that Spirit wasn't just in him, but that Spirit was actually the ground of all beingness, that presence of the Infinite One was present in all things, in all people, that it was really the ultimate reality of life, the ultimate reality of everything. Out of that complete realization, he healed the sick and he fed the multitudes. So to us, metaphysicians, Jesus, the Christed One, signifies the birth of Christ consciousness in humanity. It was the first full realization of the truth of oneness. So that is now available. It was available before, but he was the first one that brought that forward, and it becomes more available to all of us. A consciousness of oneness with Spirit. Christ consciousness was his nature, and Christ consciousness is our nature if we awaken to it, if we give birth to it, if we bring it forward. Scott Aubrey, who is a minister of Centers for Spiritual Living, said, "The virgin birth was not openly discussed during the active ministry of Jesus. Jesus was known as the carpenter, the teacher, not as one immaculately born. Indeed, the people of Nazareth, where Jesus grew up, referred to him as the son of Joseph." Why the story of the virgin birth? An effort on the writers of the Gospels to prove the divinity of Jesus? Evidence to show that Jesus was different? Why is the virgin birth not mentioned in the stories of Jesus' ministry as given in the Gospels? Do you suppose that Jesus wanted his teaching to stand on its own merits rather than coming someone who was, quote, miraculously born? As a matter of fact, the gospel contains many passages which emphasize Jesus' similarity to us rather than being different. Jesus was tempted, hungry, thirsty, and shared all of our human experiences. And he told us to follow him. But how could we follow if he was different? We would be handicapped from the start. The story of the virgin birth is given in the Gospels to give us an important lesson. That Christ can be born in us only when we develop the virgin state of mind, the one-pointed consciousness when we recognize that God is all there is. When we recognize that God is all there is. That is our call today, to recognize oneness. The truth is that God is expressing in and through and around and as everything, including us and including every person on this planet. That is a consciousness that heals. So the birth of the Christ consciousness on this planet invites us, the celebration, to fan those flames inside of us where we recognize oneness. To fan the flames and to give time and attention to the awakening of truth within us. Capital T, truth. The truth of our Christ nature, the truth of the omnipresence of Spirit. There's an invitation through the celebration of this Christmas season for us to create that manger within ourselves, to create a space of quiet, of reflection, of open space within us, so that we can discover the I amness of our own being. So that we can create space outside of our chattering minds, outside of the noise of the village and the clamor, so that that Christ presence can come forward in us. The Christ presence, the part of us that knows there is only one. The part of us that knows that that one is ever present. The almighty, all love, all power, all wisdom is in and through and around everything, us and everyone. That light, that realization, that is the light that lifts us out of the darkness. It's the light that lifts us out of the darkness of fear and worry and concern. It is the light that transforms the darkness into light. Rocco Errico, who was a scholar on Jesus and spoke Aramaic, which was the language that Jesus spoke, and interpreting the Bible through the Aramaic language, said, Jesus, The Christed One came to awaken every human's heart's potential and capacity to manifest the rich spiritual dimensions of heaven on earth. The purpose of Christ in us, then, is not only for self-realization, but for the manifestation of the kingdom of heaven wherever we may be. We are here to manifest the kingdom of heaven wherever we may be. And that comes out of that realization that we are it, here in form. No separation, no otherness, no distinction, just one. When we embody the light, we do embody the light. We embody that Christ presence. We embody the truth of oneness. And when we intentionally focus on that, we expand that light. We grow that light. We make that light brighter in the world. And so today we are having our candle lighting ceremony, and we are lighting candles to remember, to recognize, and to honor the light within us, the light within the differing spiritual traditions, and within human beings. O cosmic light, in this silence, take away the darkness of the ages. May we realize that Brahman, absolute reality, expresses itself in all that is, like a flame taking many shapes. I dedicate this light to Hinduism and Diwali, the festival of lights, the triumph of the light of wisdom and intelligence over darkness, the darkness of wickedness, violence, injustice, greed, oppression, the triumph of spirituality over materiality. We honor those who walk the path of Hinduism. Goddess, born from the struggle between good and evil, guide us toward the light. In a world where plenty is possible, let us end hunger and thirst and homelessness. In your nurturing hands, let us seek refuge from want, fear, and violence. With your grace, let our world be reborn, where all needs are met, where morality and love are abundant. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.
From the compassion of the Dalai Lama. Compassion and love are not mere luxuries. As the source of both inner and external peace, they are fundamental to the continued survival of our species. Buddha said, "Be a light unto yourself. Hold fast to the truth. Look not for refuge in anyone besides yourselves. No one saves us but ourselves. No one can and no one may. We ourselves must walk the path." We honor those who walk the path of Buddhism. Blessed by the power of Spirit's illumination, we understand the truth of those who follow the teachings of Buddha in their quest for peace.
The winter solstice invites us to harmonize our bodies, minds, and spirit with the rhythms of the great Mother Earth and with nature herself. The solstice represents hope, trust, faith, and gratitude. It is a time of rest, a time to stand still, for then we can draw strength from the one in whom we are rooted. I dedicate this light to the winter solstice, the triumph of the light over the darkness. I honor indigenous people, those who walk the path of the Great Spirit. The winter solstice marks the turning of the sun, and with that, the promises, the return of the light and warmth and new beginnings.
I will follow the shepherd of peace, guided by a star of wisdom to the birth of Christ consciousness. The light of love illuminates all who walk the path of Christianity. Oneness illuminates the Christ. For the Christ beheld, I and my Father are one. Matthew 5:16 says, "Let your light shine before others, that they may see your good deeds and glorify your Father in heaven." I honor those who walk the path of Jesus. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called the children of God.
With man, some things are possible, but with God, all things are possible. Hanukkah is an honoring of the divine spark in every soul, made in God's image. Irving Greenberg said, "The proper response, as Hanukkah teaches, is not to curse the darkness, but to light a candle." I dedicate this light to celebrate Hanukkah, the triumphant of light over the darkness and spirituality over materiality. I honor those who walk the path of Judaism. God grant me the awareness I already have, the courage to stand up and to know that I am your arms and legs and voice and heart, no matter what the external conditions look like.
Today, we honor Kwanzaa and celebrate the enduring spirit of human beings, and we celebrate the African American people, their culture, and their history. We celebrate self-determinism, the ability to define ourselves, name ourselves, create for ourselves, and speak for ourselves. We create for ourselves. taking dictation from the divine rather than from our past or from society. We speak for ourselves rather than remain silent because we don't want to rock the boat, just because it's easier. Shante Griffin said, Kwanzaa beckons us to the heights of our humanity, petitioning us to imagine ourselves and our communities. We celebrate Kwanzaa and honor our African American brothers and sisters. Express the perfect you, the light that you are. We walk taller. We speak more compassionately. We keep on going when the climb gets steeper because we understand we are driven by an omniscient, omnipresent, omnipotent power that is unlimited.
There is a thing inherent and natural, which existed before heaven and earth. It stands alone and never changes. It infuses everything and never becomes exhausted. I do not know its name. I call it the Tao and name it supreme. Lao Tzu said, giving to others, selflessly and anonymously, radiating light throughout the world and in illuminating our own darkness, your virtue becomes a sanctuary for yourself and all beings. We honor those who follow the Tao. The Tao follows its intrinsic nature, natural and effortless. Its nature is peace. Its essence is light.
I am the all, from which all proceeds. With your mind and understanding fixed firmly upon me, you shall come to me. By whatever path you seek me, you shall find me. We respect and honor our sisters and brothers walking all spiritual paths. True spirit lies beyond the realm of the visible. In each of us, there is a spark, able to kindle new fires of peace, of light, and of love. Today, we are reminded that within each one of us resides the Christ, the Buddha, Atman, the presence. We are born to be conscious, to know that our true nature is that of the divine within us, our perfect and whole self, which today we recognize in all life. We are one in spirit, one in the light. We celebrate our rich diversity and our one heart. For when we are home in the presence of spirit, we are then home in our lives and home with each other and home in our world. And so we look for the light. We celebrate the light, the living spirit in ourselves and in all people. We know that what we put our attention on grows. So today we make room for the light of the divine within ourselves. We make room within ourselves for the Christ consciousness to be born. And as we do that, it expands and it grows and it becomes embodied ever more fully. Collectively, We turn our attention right here and right now to the truth of the omnipresence of that infinite one. That infinite one that is none other than the very fabric and essence of love itself. That one that is intelligence and wisdom beyond our comprehension. That one from which all life has sprung forth because it is life itself. That goodness that is forever pouring itself forth into and through all of creation. And so today we recognize that that same presence, that same life, that same light lives within us. That we came here as an incarnation of that light, and that we are here living this lifetime sharing that light, giving way to that light, bringing it into this world in a way that is loving and kind and inclusive and supportive and empowering. A world, creating a world with the intention of having a world that works for everyone. For it is when a world works for everyone that it also works for each of us individually. And so I just give thanks for the realization of this indwelling presence. The realization that that presence lives and moves and has its being within everything. For the realization that we are truly limitless and that we are truly the outpicturing of love. And so I give thanks for all of this, knowing that it isn't just true about us, but it's true about every single person on this planet. Intelligence, wisdom, love, goodness, peace abound. And we get to be the recipients of all of it. And so I bless it all. And I invite you to join me in knowing and claiming, and so it is. And so I do have a few invitations for you. One is to join us on December 31st, which is Tuesday morning at 4 a.m. for our World Peace Meditation Service. We are joining people across the entire globe, praying and meditating on and focusing on peace, so that we are doing that collectively. That's why it's 4 a.m., so that we are doing it all over the world at the same time. It's going to be on Zoom. You could do it on your phone, do it on your laptop from bed, stay in your pajamas, whatever works, but we invite you to join us. Tell your friends, share the information with your friends if you know anybody that would like to join us. To do that, to let you know that next week we will not be here. We are taking a day off to recuperate and stay in your jammies and have a day off. So we look forward to seeing you the week after that. The first Saturday in January, we are having a vision board workshop. It's going to be at Bixby Village Clubhouse, where we've held concerts there before. If you need the address, Sharon, will you raise your hand? Sharon can give you the address if you want to know, if you don't know how to get there. We invite you, or Carol Borowick, to, Carol says I don't know the address, to save your magazines. Please sign up. There's a sign-up sheet so I know how many boards to get, how many vision boards we're going to make, and I'll do glue sticks and scissors. Is all you need to bring is some magazines, and I will bring a bunch of magazines also. We're also decided we're going to do a little finger food kind of snacky stuff, so if you want to bring something to share to eat, I invite you to do that also. We are going to begin a class on January 23rd, which is a class called Journey of the Soul. We did it a little over a year ago, and it was so popular that everyone wanted to do it again. So we are going to start that. It's going to be on Thursday evenings from 7 to 10. Sign up in the back also. We'd love to have you join us for that. Just to let you know, we have prayer support after service. Our talks get posted on usually Monday night. Jonathan edits those and posts them online. And we invite you to check in on Meetup and say you're coming, and like us on Facebook and share our posts, and check us out on Instagram and share those. So that's it. So I invite you to repeat after me, good fills my life now. Good fills my life now. I recognize it. I savor it. I own it. I live it. And so it is.